Hey everyone, how's it going? Shashank here. Welcome back to another video. Today we'll be reviewing the OnePlus NORD CE 5G variant's camera. I'll be uploading 3 videos. One video will be dedicated to the camera, which is this one. The other one is going to be a gaming test, and the final one will be my final thoughts on this phone, the complete review, whether I recommend you buy this phone or not. All these videos will be coming out this week, so subscribe and stay tuned. The OnePlus NORD CE has a triple camera at the back and a single front-facing camera. So the main camera is a 64MP camera and has an aperture of f1.8. It does not have OIS. The ultrawide camera is an 8MP camera which has a field of view of 119 degrees. It has an aperture of f2.3. And the final one is a 2MP camera and has an aperture of 2.4. In terms of the video, the main camera shoots at 4K 30fps, or you could shoot at 1080p 30fps, 60fps or 120fps. The selfie camera on the other hand is a 16MP f2.5 aperture and shoots video at 1080p 30 or 60fps. The 64MP main sensor does most of the heavy lifting here, but you should know just because there are more megapixels doesn't mean a better quality picture. With the specifications out of the way, we can start with the actual review. Let's start off by talking about the camera app. So here you get the traditional camera app, nothing too fancy. Swiping left or swiping right will give you the photo, video, slow motion, panorama, time-lapse, portrait, nightscape, and pro mode. In photo, you could choose whether you want to shoot at the 4:3 ratio or 16:9 ratio. You do get HDR mode, but it doesn't sound as impressive as you might think it is. Apart from that, there are a few filters built in which are decent, nothing too great there. The selfie camera does have a beauty mode, which is alright. It does a decent job hiding your marks, smoothing your skin and stuff. But if you're not under the right lighting conditions, it fails to do a task, and you'll know more about that as I show you the samples. In slow motion, you can choose to record either at 1080p 120fps or 720p 240fps. The time-lapse feature has the option where the phone helps you choose the best setting for recording your time-lapse. It gives you 5 options which are used to shoot time lapses of moving objects, clouds, pedestrians, traffic, sunrise, sunset, etc. The portrait mode on the other hand is it's just generic quality, nothing too great there. At this price range, you really can't expect great stuff. Maybe there are a few phones which are focusing on camera quality, but I just don't think that's where this phone is headed. The Pro mode gives you a variety of settings where you can manually set your ISO, white balance, shutter speed, and there's also a histogram to help you with the exposure balance. In settings, you can choose to turn on ultra short HDR, which learns your environment and tries to intelligently blend multiple frames into this optimal photo, but it's just don't use it. I've tried using it, 9 out of 10 times it fails. Sometimes it works really well, but it's not worth the gamble. This camera app does come with Google Lens pre-installed. Okay, now let's talk about the actual photo quality and my opinion about how good this camera is. The daylight photos taken with the main camera are decent, keeping the price of this phone in mind. There is a good level of detail and has a wide dynamic range. There is no visible noise in these photos. In terms of image sharpening, sometimes the images are too soft, sometimes it's overly sharp. I think that can be fixed with a software update though, or if you're editing your photos, I'm sure you can fix it. But as of today, there isn't good consistency. The 2x zoom is basically a crop from the main 64MP camera. I know the phone does specify it has 3 cameras, but it actually has 2. An easy way to test it is by covering the camera with your finger and seeing how many cameras are actually there. The third quote-unquote camera is actually a mono lens, which helps you shoot monochromatic shots. Most people don't use it, but it's there. The ultrawide camera does its job pretty well, serving us with a wide-angle photo, but the photos are not as sharp and the dynamic range is not very wide. There's also a change in color accuracy when compared to the main camera. It's easily noticeable, but again, I've noticed in some pictures there isn't a change in color accuracy. Sometimes it's either oversaturated or undersaturated. Where this camera loses is in its indoor pictures and in low light conditions. There is a lot of noise in low light situations and the images are soft and loses its sharpness. The nightscape mode basically tries to make everything in the picture visible, but it does not help in the quality of the picture or trying to make the colors accurate. Portrait images are alright, nothing too great. Sometimes it does a perfect job with the edge and hair detection, sometimes it doesn't. That's just how it is in this price range. So what am I saying here? If you shoot in the 16:9 ratio, it's not gonna work out too good for you until the lighting is perfect. I'd highly recommend you shoot at the 4:3 ratio to get the best out of the camera, whether you are taking a wide angle picture or a normal shot. Here is a picture of my bedroom where the lighting is ideal and the wide angle picture looks great. You can take the picture to the next quality if you're shooting in RAW, basically shoot in Pro mode and fix up everything in editing. But if you aren't that kind of a person, then yeah, stick to these guidelines and you'll be good to go. The selfie camera is good. I was genuinely impressed with it. The colors are accurate, don't really have any complaints. In beauty mode, I would not recommend you to use it at max settings because it's not optimized in that state. This is being filmed from the front-facing camera. It's recorded at 1080p 60 fps. The main YouTube video will be rendered in 30 fps, so you might not notice the 60 fps quality. But yeah, right now only this window and this window. That's the only two light sources. All the lights are off, and it's pretty good, right? I think the video is quite nice. One more thing to keep in mind is when I upload this, keep in mind that this video will be rendered twice, once by YouTube and once by the video editing software I use. So there might be a little bit of loss in quality, but yeah, it's not going to be too noticeable. Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. The HDR mode is alright. It's a hit or miss at this point. I would not recommend you to use HDR mode yet. Maybe an update will fix it. After taking the picture, when it's processing, it kind of screws up most of the time. Sometimes it does deliver. So yeah, don't use HDR mode yet. Wait for an update. I'm sure they'll fix it. Coming to the end of the video, all in all, I'd say it's a decent camera. You can't really complain too much, but will a mobile photographer be happy with the camera performance of this phone? I really don't think that will be the case. For a person who just uses phone to capture memories and update his social media, this camera is more than sufficient for that purpose. All in all, yeah, I can't complain too much about the camera of this one. Hope this video helped you out. If it did, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel for more content like this. If you guys have any doubts, hit me up in the comments below and I'll try to help you guys out. With that said, take care and I'll see you in the next one.